turn your back on me.
Is that a challenge?
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
White folks are nosy. They have specials. Nosy specials. Why does a bee make honey? You ain't a bee. Why do you give a fuck?
Where's the kaboom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
If he dies, he dies.
What's up, everyone? This is CRIMEZ, and this is your girl Sincere Ignorance, and I have to get something off my chest. I am sick and tired with the portion of the audience that watches our shit. And here's why, especially with the R. Kelly situation. Years ago, for like the past 5 years, Prince and I was talking about all the predators, the sex trafficking, especially of black children and young girls, young boys. We talked about Bambaataa, we talked about R. Kelly, and we talked about, the white predators as well. So we talked about a lot of them. At the time, no one was saying first them, no one was speaking on the issue of black children, none of that. Now, all of a sudden, out of the blue, just because of Dream Hampton's docuseries, Surviving R. Kelly, getting over 20 million views, and finally, R. Kelly being put in a situation where it's not going to be as easy for him to get young girls as it was for the last 20 years when he was being backed by white infrastructure and also black infrastructure. Because people forget, when it comes to these elites and when it comes to the sex cult and when it comes to trafficking of children and all that stuff, they're all in it together. It's like when people bring up Charlie Sheen, they don't even know the fact that R. Kelly and Charlie Sheen knows each other. Just like when they're crying about Bill Cosby, they don't understand that Bill Cosby was cool with Hugh Hefner and Bill Clinton. So it's a class of predators that hang around, and of course there's different levels. Bill Cosby wasn't messing with girls or little boys like Bambaataa or R. Kelly, Bryan Singer, and I'm only saying allegedly because y'all already know why. We know what the deal really is, but nobody gave a fuck, right? So we've been consistent with this for years, and we understand too that black children are the most in danger. Stats show between 52% to 55%. There's a 3% difference in some outlets and sources, but the majority of child prostitutes are black children. The ports in Atlanta, in Houston, and LA, like all over the country, New York, is filled with sex trafficking ring of young kids, right? And these black celebrities, a lot of them are a part of it. We have a video that's going to be dropping on Taraji P. Henson and Erykah Badu and some other people, but people forget, if they actually did any research on Taraji P. Henson, for example, she was a part of an agency that used to basically only select black women for what. And I'll get into more details with that on our narration video because I want to blow the whistle on it. Yeah, I want y'all to watch that video to see, what is going on pertaining to that. So all of you who want us to dumb ourselves down and to pretend that this network between black celebrities, white celebrities, politicians, religious orders, different things like that, you want us to dumb ourselves down to placate to your ego because you're afraid of looking bad in front of white people. So much so that you don't even care about your children. Some of you. It's like we had a someone comment. Here's the comment right here. I took a screenshot of it. So this woman, she edited her comment. The first comment she said was, I was messing with it before she edited it. I'm like, okay, maybe she could be right to an extent, meaning maybe her intentions are pure. Maybe for her, she just want to make sure that white predators are taken down as well. I guess maybe for all victims. But then she edited her comment and said, I don't care about R. Kelly's victims. Them girls knew what they were doing, even though the age range of his victims were 11 to 17. And early in his predatory nature, he had 11 to 14-year-olds. And then later, as he progressed, he started to mess with actual women, people who were 18 or older, but most of his victims were little black girls. So she said, I just care about my kids. I don't give a fuck about anybody else's kids. I just have to handle my house and home. All right. So if you really believe that, then why are you a part of the hashtag first them? You're just a dumb broad who is egotistical and you don't care about none of the victims. So you're just doing this based off of an ego trip project. And you're a weirdo. Because if you don't care about black children as a collective and you just care about your own, then why are you a part of the conversation? Sit your ass down. Don't join the conversation if you don't care about black victims too. And if you don't care about victims at all, it's again, why are you joining the conversation? You shouldn't be a part of any hashtag. You should shut up and just focus on your kids like you said in your comment. We've also had people go into our recent video where we talk about the circle of power, where they said they feel sorry for Brooke Shields and they feel sorry for these white victims. And then when you talk about Africa Bambaataa and R. Kelly, then they get weird and say, well, this, that, and the third. There is no but. Either you're really about getting rid of predators across the board, and especially making sure that your children are safe. Because the thing about that woman, and I don't even want to call her that, but the thing about this woman is if somebody touched her kids and that person had a lot of power, she would want the help of the black community and anybody else to get that person off of the street because of what they did to her children. See, this selfish behavior, and even in our own community, is why black children are the most at risk when it comes to these predators of all colors. Because these predators have a network. R. Kelly hung out with Ellen DeGeneres. And I'm not saying Ellen DeGeneres is a part of some sex trafficking of kids. I don't know her particular case. But I will say that a lot of them are. Whether you talk about Kevin Spacey, R. Kelly, Bambaataa, you go into religion, Eddie Long, the Baptist Church, the Catholic. Like, it's across the board. But black children are the most at risk. They even call little black girls ducks when they're selling them on the street. In Atlanta, for example, the most watched child pornography is between the ages of 12 and 14 of black girls. Also, even though the pimps are mostly black that are selling these young girls in Atlanta, there's a mixed group of buyers. So some of the buyers are white, some of the buyers are black, Hispanic. And again, also people forget that these girls and these young boys are trafficked across the globe as well. Some get trafficked to Mexico. You may see them end up somewhere in Europe, Africa, Asia. It's a huge market, billions of dollars. So people don't know the structure of it. And they are very silly because they don't understand that speaking on race with black celebrities, for example, for them to speak on race is a very safe space for them. When you start to talk about the child rapists across the board, that's when people are quiet and they get scared because of one or two things. Either they're a part of it themselves, or there's some type of dirt on them, even if it's not as bad to the extent of messing with children, that they don't want out there. And that's something that a lot of people have to be wise about. So for the people who are first them, hashtag whatever, and it's really about you just getting our predators and you're still going to pursue the R. Kellys and the African Bambaatahs, and you're still going to pursue all the black predators who've been protected by white infrastructure and black infrastructure, then fine. But if you one of the first them, like that chick right there who don't even care about black children, and you just want to focus on white people because it's a competition and you're like up white people's asshole, their butthole and some weirdo shit, then you need to kick rocks. Because you are the reason why black children aren't protected. 52% to 55% are trafficked, sex trafficked, black children. It's crazy. And the violence against them sexually is even 10 times more harsher than white children who are trafficked, even though that's very appalling as well. If you look at it, black children, when they are bought and they are sold to white men and women, black, Asian, whatever, their journey is some of the most grotesque things you can even imagine. People need to do their research on this because it's extremely bad. That's why we're called thought crime. People talking about us doing entertainment. So what? Most of the fucking entities you look at, even news, do entertainment. Whether you're watching the Young Turks or whoever makes entertainment in their coverage. But we're the only ones to challenge anybody when it comes to the safety of black children. And we're the only ones who was talking about all these predators, white, black, Asian, whatever, and talking about the trafficking system and what's going on when it comes to black Hollywood, white Hollywood, and also the infrastructure of sex trafficking around the world. We were the only ones talking about it. So all the broke tips that y'all listening to now that want to do a vanity project on this whole fake pro-blackness, you got issues. Because if you were so pro-black, you would look at the most precious thing in your community, your own damn children. Black children in our communities, they are being violated across the board sexually and in so many ways. You know, also when it comes to just even being shot up and killed. The school to prison pipeline for black children, the thousands of little black girls that was missing in DC. You guys have no idea as to what is going on. So when you come to my platform talking all this bullshit and you expect me to, again, dumb myself down to be at your level of apathy and not even reading exactly what's going on pertaining to black children and trafficking, and how the only reason why the number is even as high as it is, poverty, of course, is definitely a factor, but it showcased that there are a lot of black people who are selling children to other groups of people. And if you want to even do more research on the R. Kelly situation, he's not any different. He doesn't use them girls just for himself. They've also been used for other groups of people. So I challenge y'all to actually do the research. Look at the numbers on sex trafficking for black children. Look at the networks in Hollywood, in religion, and politics pertaining to what goes on with black children. That includes black teenagers, because they're still children too. So stop trying to make them adults. They already showed that the psychology of the society, including black people, perceive black girls as adults at the age of 5 and perceives black boys as adults at the age of 10, which is why that white cop came out and shot Tamir Rice, who was 10 or 11, and tried to call him a grown man. This is why 11 to 15-year-olds that were victimized and sexually exploited by R. Kelly are being called women. You're calling children women. You're calling little boys men. That's very suspect to me. So that is what's going on. So until people really dig in deep and do the research, don't cry to me about Bill Clinton. Don't cry to me about R. Kelly. Don't cry to me about Bambaataa, because you don't even know the half of it. You're not even going beyond the veneer of it. You're just at the surface. You don't comprehend that Bill Cosby was cool with Bill Clinton. So you saying Bill Clinton is better than Bill Cosby doesn't make any sense. It doesn't compete with each other, because you know what? They're both were in the same facilities. Let's just say that. You know, Bill Cosby was cool with Hugh Hefner, who had a Brooke Shields on his Playboy cover magazine at the age of 6, naked. Chris Stokes having little boys with their pants down in the bed together, sexualizing them. So I'm not going to join y'all in pretending that black children aren't important. I'm not joining y'all, because we're in the industry, for example, even though we're independent, where a lot of people are cool with that. And this is the first time in history in a long time that many of you have the opportunity to clean up any predator, white, black, whatever, that's messing with black children or just messing with black people in general. This is the first time that you had a huge window while this movement is taking place with black people to really get in there and clean up and to protect as many children as possible and to protect as many black people as possible from white predators and black predators and anybody else that's involved. But many of you are too much of cowards, too much of a coward to really focus on that, to really have strategy when it comes to that, and to really focus on the bigger picture. So anyway, you know, that's all I have to say for right now. That's my rant. I mean, I could probably talk about this for hours. You know, the screenshots of all the videos about all these different predators we talked about that y'all didn't care about till now, except for when you're trying to deflect from black predators because you think only white predators with white victims on top of that. You're not even focusing on white predators who are sexually victimizing black children. So that's another weird thing. You're basically helping white people become more balanced, but they don't need your help. Your black children need your help. Other black people in your community need your help. Weinstein Company is owned by white women now. So all the white women he victimized, they have at least one vindication. They own his fucking company, even if he doesn't go to prison. Even a white billionaire, Jeffrey Epstein, spent more time in prison because he messed with little white girls than R. Kelly or any white, black, whatever predator that has messed with black children. You've only had a few cases where black children was actually valued, at least eventually, and that was the Sandusky case. Bambaataa is still out there though. So I really urge people to be careful because the white infrastructure wants to lock up innocent black people and they want guilty black people to stay around and cause more harm within our own community. Because you take the good people off the street and out of the households and you put assholes like this out there. And this is what you get. This civil war of black people who are brainwashed, who have apathy towards black children and other black people, versus black people who care about the entire community and will fight for the entire community against white predators, black predators, Asian predators, anybody. And that's the civil war we're having in our own community right now. So anyway, everybody, this is your girl Sincere. This is Dark Crimes. And man, thank you for the people who do support and do care about everybody in our community. Peace.
Back during slavery, when black people like me talked to the slaves,
There's like a 3% chance I'll get run out of the league if I speak my mind.
slaves.